How to hypnotize your customers. When you create a buying trance within your customers, you'll sell a lot more stuff. You'll make a lot more money in a lot less time. As you continue to learn how to create deeper and deeper buying trances in your customers, you'll be able to live life much more flexibly. The more you enhance your ability to create deep buying trances in your customer, the more expensive stuff you'll be able to sell. So, dear viewer, how specifically do you hypnotize your customers? First, forget about TV and movie hypnosis. Forget about stage hypnosis. Forget about any idea that involves you speaking and them passively listening. This is a great fantasy, but it's not nearly as effective or even possible as you may think. Sure, this might work on your friends, but they know you. They feel comfortable with you. Customers are a bit different. Customers have a bit more resistance, both conscious and unconscious resistance. But don't worry, it's very easy to hypnotize your customers, to get them into that wonderful state of buying hypnosis. But you'll get them there by focusing on that state rather than any preconceived notions about how to get them there. The first step is to turn off your ego as much as you can. This is much, much harder than most people imagine. Anytime you have an idea in your head that you feel must be spoken out loud, that is your ego. For this type of hypnosis, you'll only be asking questions that will significantly build up their buying desire within a state of wonderful hypnosis. Now, the reason they are your customer is they want something. They have a vague desire for something. So we'll start with that. Start off with an easy question. This question is not designed to get a specific answer. This is only designed to put them in a nice, imaginative, open state of mind. So, what's the question? Okay, Mr. Customer, before we get started, just imagine you got everything you wanted and it's a little bit in the future. What does that look like? You got the product or service you wanted and you're okay with everything about the product or service. It's a week later, you're at home enjoying the product or service. You are perfectly happy. What does that look like? Again, don't expect them to tell you any details about that inner imagination. The only purpose of this question is to put them in an open, imaginative mental state. Once you see their face change when they go into that kind of beginning hypnosis state, then start to ask them either or questions. This will require that you do a lot of thinking. These questions are designed to give them two options, one of which is a high probability of being an answer. With these questions, start off very, very broadly and then slowly get more specific. Do not rush through these questions. Take your time. For example, let's imagine that you're selling a blender, a very high-end blender, and you've got a potential customer in your blender store, and you've just asked them that open-ended question where they are imagining a week later when they're at home with their ideal blender. What's a good either-or question? When do you use your blender most? Mostly in the morning or mostly in the evening? One of these has a high probability of being an answer they'll choose. Another question could be, is this blender more of an everyday thing or more of a once or twice a week thing? Another question could be, do you use this blender more for health reasons or more for enjoyment reasons? As you can guess, coming up with questions like these can take time because they're different for every product. The reason these work so well is it relieves the customer of the burden of feeling on the spot, having to explain exactly what they want. Most people don't have a clear idea of what they want. Most people only have a very vague desire of what they want. So this either or process is going to be very, very pleasant for them. Your ego is turned off, so you're not telling them anything. You're only offering them pleasant either or questions to think about and build up that fantastic inner imagination of their desire. This will take time. You'll need to do a lot of thinking to come up with as many either or questions centered around your product as possible. But the more you ask these questions, the more of a compelling inner picture in their mind that you'll be able to create. This will create a very powerful, very compelling, very enjoyable feeling of trance in their brain. The bigger and more powerful of an idea that you create in their mind with these simple either or questions, the stronger their hypnotic buying desire will become. Once you have a nice compelling picture in their mind that represents their desire in all its detail, you can start asking specific questions about the product itself. First, as we went over, build up a big desire picture in their mind about how they'll use their product, how they'll enjoy their product, or about all the problems that will go away once they have their product. Then focus on the specific details of the product itself using the same either or questions. Is it dark colored or light colored? Is it complex with many buttons, or does it only have a few buttons? Of course, while you're asking these questions about the details of the product, you'll have an idea in your mind of what you have in your inventory. After you've done these two big steps, the closing part is pretty easy. The more you build up their desire, the less you'll need to do any closing. And if you are very careful about the either or questions about the specific details of the product, you'll be building a perfect match in their mind for what you have in your shop. Well, Mr. Customer, we have an ideal product that matches perfectly with what you just described. It's got XYZ just like you said. If you make the decision to buy this today, you can take this home and make that inner fantasy a reality. Of course, this will take a lot of practice, a lot of journaling, a lot of brainstorming about the either or questions that you can ask around your product. But you'll find this is a fantastic way to hypnotize your customers and fill them with a wonderful buying desire for the products that you'd like to sell to them. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. To learn more, please visit mindpersuasion.com.